Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's section of readings. Or these readings are valid for whenever you come to them, but this current incarnation. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Ghost Tarot. If I can get it over in the right spot so you can see it. Artwork by David Cossey. Let me get my glasses on to read that one. Cozy, Cozzi, and there's websites in the back here, which I'm not even gonna. I think it's less great. Bleh. Nope, can't speak today, but they're right there. If you're interested in the websites, go for them. There you go. The Oracle cards, Sword of Light Oracle by Radley Valentine, illustrations by Echo Chernick. That's what this box looks like. And there's the website. Where's the website? Here's the websites I found in the book here. So feel free to freeze frame and check anything out there that's interesting to you. I think there's a Radley Valentine one in there, so feel free to check anything out that works in your favor. And last but not least, I use dice, a 22-sided dice, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool, and a 14-sided dice for the Minor Arcana, and I use a 4-sided dice to choose the element to dictate which suit of the Minor Arcana I'm going to use. It's from the Dice Shop, and the website is mathartfun.com. Hopefully you can see that if you want to. mathartfun.com. All right, with that being said, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Let's get into your reading. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? There's a lot of jump, jump, jump energy going on all of a sudden, which I've done a bunch of readings before yours, and this is the first one I'm feeling the jump, jump energy, so what is up with that? We'll find out in a minute, I guess. Jump, 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 jump. All of that? Okay. The Two of Wands on the outside. So it depends on you. I'm surprised. I already shuffled these, but for some reason I got to shuffle them again. On the outside, this could be easily a work situation. Clearly doesn't have to be. It depends how it hits for you. Somebody else is making a decision, and it's affecting what you're doing. And it does feel like it's a random, not very well thought out decision. It may be a decision. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Let's go because I'm like, because it's not well thought out. It makes me wonder if it's going to hold, and I'm getting maybe because sometimes people are just stubborn and they don't want to admit that something isn't working. Okay, so the situation, whenever it happens, which should be. It depends. Like, I know when people watch these, sometimes people are like, oh, this already happened, or this is currently happening, or like a week or so passes and then it happens. So when it happens, because this is right in the center of the reading that I'm reading, I'm not happy with it. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of extra things that need to be done. I'm not going to let this fail. I feel like I'm in a spot where I need to do what I need to do. And the devil comes in with the Three of Pentacles, which is telling me I feel like I'm stuck and I have to do whatever I have to do. And there's a lot of like pressure to get this done. But I feel like I need to get this done. I need to get this done. And it's kind of like push-pull. It's like it makes me very upset, but at the same time, I need to do it. It kind of reminds me of like, an example would be, for example, say you have a child and somebody's supposed to pick them up after school. And then 5 minutes after they were supposed to be picked up, you get a call from them, like, so-and-so isn't here, are they coming? I can't get them on the phone. And then you get a hold of that person, and they're like, oh, I forgot, I'm hours away, I couldn't go get them right now if I wanted to. And you're just like, what? So whatever you're doing, you have to put that on pause, and you have to go get your child and take them where they need to go. And it's kind of like, all right, I have to do this. This isn't how I wanted this to go. Somebody they made this random choice to go do over what they were doing. They're 2 hours away, and they completely forgot what they were supposed to do. So now you had to pick up the pieces. And the reason that's why I'm giving that analogy, is kind of like, you're not just going to be like, oh, well, too bad, kid. I guess you're just going to sit at school for the rest of your life. You're going to be like, oh, okay, I don't want them, I can't do that. I have to go get them. Or I have to get somebody else to go get them. It's like you have to handle it one way or another. Maybe you don't physically have to go do it, but you have to do the legwork to make sure somebody else does go get them. And the Devil card showing up with the Three of Pentacles, I don't like it. I don't think it's right. But there's certain things that have to be met. With the Devil card, there's boundaries. There's like certain things have to be taken care of. So even if you don't have a kid, it's just the point of the boundaries, and the boundaries are serious to you. And it's kind of like, no, I can't just let somebody else fix this. I have to make sure this works out. This is extremely important to me. And you do. I've been talking to the Magician card here. I just haven't picked it up, but that's one of the things I'm talking to, is the Magician card here. You're handling it because you're like, it needs to be handled. And you're doing what you need to do. You got a lot of polar opposites going on. You got the Chariot and the Devil, which are, the reason I call them opposites is because the Chariot talks about Cancer sometimes. The Devil talks about Capricorn. On the Zodiac, they're opposites. That tends to not work. That's opposite energies. Another place I'm seeing it play out is in your thoughts. You got the Emperor, which can be Aries. You got the Justice, which can be Libra. Ironically, both of these are interested in the truth, but they have totally different ways to doing it, and it can cause a lot of conflict. One likes to talk it out, the other one likes to fight it out. So, usually, stereotypically. So, there's a lot of like, I gotta figure this out, even though it's making me very angry. I'm very loyal to the situation, even though I don't feel like this shouldn't be my responsibility to fix this. So it's kind of like I'm pulled in two directions, but it's like I have to make sure it works out. And you do, this is the popping off energy I think I got in the beginning, like the bubbly boom, boom, boom. I got to do what I got to do. I don't really have the time to overthink it. I just got to make sure this has a good resolution. My kid is stuck in this place, and I can't just let them be hanging out here. I got to get somebody to get there. I got to have somebody get there so that this works out the way it's supposed to. And the sooner it gets taken care of, the better. I can't be just like playing politics on this. It needs to be fixed now. And it's one of those things where I feel like it was supposed to have been taken care of. We shouldn't be having this problem, yet here we are. There's this next piece, because I feel like this is something you're obviously going to address, because it feels like you have to. Kind of like, you can't be having this. This can't be the way this works out. Pushback. Why? Okay, I don't know what's going on. You're trying to rectify the situation. And I feel like whoever you're dealing with is balancing it out in their own way. They're like, well, I had to do what I had to do. And, I just can't, there should be a backup plan anyway. Sometimes things are going to be different. I just can't. Just because you expect it doesn't mean that's how it's going to work out. I keep getting like somebody's giving pushback and they're just not seeing it your way. They know that you don't like it, but they also seem to feel like, well, hey, if my life goes differently, I got to do what I can do. They don't seem to be working with you on resolution at all. Especially with this card coming in with the Six of Pentacles. It's almost like they knew that was going to happen, but they were just kind of like, Aquarius will just have to fix it. That's just how it'll have to go. And they seemed to have been at peace with that. Even though this is an oracle card, the way this is feeling right now, I'm like, they feel completely validated. Like, hey, this is how it goes sometimes. I don't know what to tell you about that. If this reading is hitting, like, I know it's a general read, but I'm just like, be careful with that energy. Their priorities are not your priorities. You probably knew that anyway, but like, even more so, they're like, I'm nervous. Like, sometimes they might agree that your priorities are correct, and they may say that they're correct, but doesn't mean they're going to uphold to them, or they're going to, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean they're going to follow them. There's a lot of weird energy here going with this. So I feel like what they're saying is maybe whatever the situation is, and I don't know. The Lover's card comes in with the Four of Cups reversed. Maybe realigning the situation so that person isn't something that you have to rely on, or this situation isn't something you have to rely on anymore. It may not be your first choice. See, it's that random thing. They made some choice, but I feel like they're giving you a heads up of who they really are and where their priorities really lie. And I also feel like whoever this is might agree to your face that you're right, but at the same time, they don't seem to adhere to that. They don't. It's kind of like, oh yeah, you're right. It's kind of like telling somebody, I shouldn't eat a bag of sugar in a sitting. Like, that's a bad idea. You're right, and then they go do it anyway. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If this is hitting, I feel like you'll know it better than I will what that means. But I feel like what they're saying is open to different possibilities. These don't have to be different. So these don't have to be permanent solutions. They're different, but they don't have to be permanent solutions. But maybe it's kind of like, maybe we need to do something different for now, so you can give yourself some time to find a different resolution or make different choices with this situation, or whoever this individual is. Because I feel like this person is they're giving you a gift of telling you who they really are. They're showing you who they really are. And it's kind of like, this reading is trying to give you a heads up. Like, it's not really a negotiable. It's who they are. And you may want this to go differently. May want them to act differently, but their sense of morality may be so different from yours that it may not be workable. It's like every time you connect with them, you're spinning the wheel of luck. And sometimes there's more good spots than bad spots, but sometimes there's more bad spots than good spots. Like, if you think of the wheel of luck, say there's 100 spaces on the wheel of luck. Sometimes it's 50-50, 50 good, 50 to the bad. Sometimes it's 50 to the good, 25 to the okay, 25 to the bad. Sometimes there's only 2 good, and everything else is okay, and then there's 1 or 2 bad ones. You know what I mean? They're just saying every time you're going into a different version of that wheel. And sometimes it's just the whole thing is bad. No matter how you spin it, it's going to be different versions of a bad situation. Sooner or later, you're going to end up at the spot where you're doing it on your own anyway for a minute. You're relying on yourself because you know that's the only person you can count on in this situation at this time. You know that it's just you that you can rely on for that. So the possibilities here are to be careful to not just accept it and go forward like, well, I guess this is just how it's going to go. You don't have to accept that. The person you were dealing with, they're just not the grade, they're not the quality you need, but you don't have to accept that and just move on from it. The possibilities here will start slowly, but I'm getting, once it's in your control, the energy comes down, the stress comes down a lot bit. It's a lot of bit. The stress of like it working out the way it should comes down. But what I'm also getting is if you start letting yourself just think about it little by little, but like just toying with possibilities. I could do that. I don't want to do that, but I could do that. Well, if I did that, I would have to do this too. Okay, well, that's an interesting thing. Well, I don't really want to do that, but if I did, this is how that would go. I think that's how this starts. I wouldn't really want to do this, but if I did, this is how I would do it. That will start opening the doors. That will help you regain your focus. Is that what that says? Regain your focus? Yeah. Take a very quiet, I don't think passive is the right word. Very detached. Kind of like, I don't want to do that, but if I did, this is how I do it. That'll start opening doors, and you'll start seeing more possibilities and more possibilities. if you go that route, sooner or later, sooner or later there will be a change. Because your card comes in with this, and it's backed up by the Four of Wands. You don't have to fear the outcome. The more you look at it, the more you use your strength, your Aquarius, you find the loopholes, you find the changes, you find things that other people don't believe exist. Keep that in mind. And just by letting yourself toy with the possibilities, especially if you go down that road, well, I don't want to do that, but if I did, this is how I do it. You have the possibility of a much better future with this situation, a much better harmonious future, and embracing who you really are, using those gifts that you were born with. You'll find a different way to do things. The more you keep doing that, though, it's going to open doors. But I feel like a lot of you are going to be like, yeah, I know that. But usually, it'll get you to consider things that you really don't want to do, and then sooner or later you'll talk yourself into doing things that you originally didn't want to do. It'll change your situation, and it'll change it for the better. So if you let yourself toy with it, I don't want to do that, but if I did, this is what I do. It'll get you out of the situation. It'll change the whole landscape. I feel like for some of you, you are avoiding doing that for a reason, and I respect that. I feel like if this reading is hitting, they're just kind of reminding you that maybe even though it doesn't seem that appetizing, maybe this is somewhere that this situation should be going, because you have the ability to make changes, and that's the whole point. To embrace that. Anything else? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.